In the last video, my goal was to try to teach you how to add integers with red and yellow counters. And so now I'm actually going to teach you the mathematical rules to them. And the reason why I didn't teach you the rule first was because I kind of wanted you to understand how the problems work first. And now I'm going to teach you the rules. And the only problem with the rules is that next, I'm going to teach you subtracting integers and then multiplying and then dividing. And the rules are all different. So you actually do need to understand how and why we get to the answers that we do. So we can call this example 1 again, and I'll write same signs. So this is adding integers with the same sign. And so the rule, in words, is that when the signs are the same, you add the numbers and keep the sign. Keep the sign the same. And I'll give you some examples. So pause it if you're still writing, and then you can unpause when you are ready. So for example, let's say we have 2 plus 4, we know that that is 6. You've got two positive numbers. The signs are the same, they are both positive, so you add them and you keep the sign the same. Here's another example. Let's say you have a negative 2 and a negative 4. Again, signs are the same, you have two negative numbers, so you add and you keep the sign. That would be a negative 6. Let's say you have a negative 14 and a negative 2. Same signs, they're both negative. That would add to be a negative 16. If you have two positive numbers, again, let's say we have 3 plus 9. They are both positive. That means you are going to add and keep the sign, so you would end up with a positive 12. It's a little more challenging when you have different signs. So I'm going to clear my screen. Example 2 is when you are adding with different signs. Okay, so, oops, I didn't want that yet. I'm going to give you the rule. All right, the rule is that you actually subtract and keep the sign, like whether it's positive or negative, of the number with the larger absolute value. Okay, again, you actually subtract and keep the sign of the number with the larger absolute value. And I know that's kind of a mouthful of a rule. I'll make this example A again. Let's say that we have 4 plus a negative 9. So you actually subtract these numbers. Just think of them as a positive 4 and a positive 9 for now. So if you subtracted 9 minus 4, you get the number 5. But this is the number with the larger absolute value right now. Your negative 9 has an absolute value of 9. It's actually a larger absolute value than the absolute value of 4. So it's going to stay a negative number. And I really wish you were in the classroom right now because I think this is a challenging thing to try to explain without seeing your faces. So again, you actually subtract. So I did 9 minus 4 is 5. But I'm keeping it a negative number because my 9 has a larger absolute value. Let me try a different example for you. Let's try negative 2 plus a negative 5. Those are the same sign. What am I doing? How about a negative 2 plus a positive 5? There we go. So signs are different. So we are going to subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. And this time, the number with the larger absolute value is the 5. 5 has an absolute value of 5, and -2 has an absolute value of 2. So since 5 has the larger absolute value and it's positive, I'm going to keep my 3 positive. I can already see the confused looks in your faces. Maybe I'm just being negative right now. I need to stop being negative. Here we go. Let me try another one. Let's say I have -8 plus 3. So signs are different. One number is negative, one number is positive. The number with the larger absolute value is the -8. The absolute value of -8 is 8. So I know that this is going to be a negative answer because my -8 has a larger absolute value. Now I'm actually going to subtract them. 8 minus 3 is 5, and so I end up with a -5 as the answer. If you get confused, because this is kind of confusing when you first learn how to do this, go back and think about counters again. So for example A, you would end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow, and you'd end up with 9 red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you would have these that cancel. And so you end up with 5 red. That's how I got to a -5. Let me show you again with this one. I've got 2 reds here, and I've got 5 yellows here. I really think the counters are a good way to see this visually. So I've got 3 yellows, that's why this is a +3. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reds, and 3 yellows. And these are the ones that cancel, and you're left with 5 reds. That's why it's a -5. If it's easiest for you right now to think about it as the counters instead of the rule, that's fine. Keep doing that. Next week, we are going to continue this lesson, and then just like math, what happens with math usually, when we move on to the next lesson, you're going to need this for the next lesson. So this will keep coming up in your lessons to follow. So don't worry if you're a little confused now. I'll try to post some helpful videos that don't have me recorded necessarily, but I'll try to post some helpful videos, and I'll try to find out if IXL has a good practice one for this. They should. Good luck. You guys are doing great. Just make sure you email me or message me on Google Classroom if you have any questions.